Boats don't sink because of the water that's around them. Boats sink because of the water that gets inside of you. So don't let what's happening around you get inside of you and weigh you down. While I don't know who came up with that saying, it's extremely touching and something to think about. And it goes with our subject today. What makes things float? Have you ever wondered how millions of pounds of steel can float across the ocean on a cargo ship or an aircraft carrier, cruise ship? To understand what makes things float, we have to have some understanding of displacement. Let's take this rock for instance. If we were to ask if this rock could float, this is obviously small enough we could trial and error, throw it in the water, see if it floats. But what if we wanted to know for sure before we put it in the water? Well, we can weigh our rock. It weighs 15.1 ounces. Now to figure out if this will float, we need to figure out how much water it would take to fill up this exact volume that this rock takes up. A simple way to do that would be to take a jar of water. This is not going to be precise, but this will give you an understanding of what's going on. We'll make a little mark right here at our water level. That's our current water level. Now if we take our rock and drop it inside, we can see that the water level rises. So if we mark that new water level, that rock was dirty. If we remove our rock, our water level drops back down. If I were to zero out the weight of this water, and then I fill this water back up to that line, that's pretty close. That is 6.2 ounces of water. So the volume of our rock in water is 6.2 ounces. The density of our rock makes it weigh 15.1 ounces. Therefore, the rock is heavier than the water it displaces. The rock will sink, as we saw when we put the rock in the water. Now this was our makeshift boat you saw at the beginning of the video. You all saw that it was floating. This weighs exactly 3 pounds. So what we would want to do now is we want to figure out how much water this container would hold. We could probably scoot just a little more. So the amount of water that this will hold is 4 pounds, which is why it weighing 3 pounds was able to float, because it displaced 4 pounds worth of water. So that is how things are able to float. The amount of water that they displace weighs more than the item that is doing the displacing. Did you know you can tell the gender of an ant by putting it in water? If it sinks, girl ant. If it floats, boy ant.